Okay, welcome everyone to day 4 of the Visibility Challenge. And I'm really, really thrilled to see so many of you coming on live because it does make a big difference. And I love all the questions and things as well at the end. So we're going to get started. I'll do a brief recap of what we've done so far as well. And then we can get into today's session. So, the plan for the challenge was to be bold. So bold was we began with the vision. So on Monday, you all did the sentence introduction about yourselves. So who you are, what you do, and who you help in a sentence, if you remember. And then on Tuesday, we looked at how you find all your stories. So we did some story mapping and you pulled different stories and themes out, and looked at 3 different types of story. Your origin story, which is a bit like to align it to superheroes, for instance. It's a bit like Spider-Man's origin story. He's got bitten by a spider, and that's why he's got superhero powers. So, what is your origin story? Why do you do what you do? Okay, that's your origin story. So, my origin story didn't happen until um about 9 years ago when my little girl died. That was my origin story of why I now do what I do. But I did PR and marketing before that. I was an expert for over 25 years of PR and marketing activity. But my actual origin story, in terms of why I do what I do, in terms of building legacy and helping heart-led businesses, came about after I lost my little girl. And I realized that part of that legacy is helping other heart-led business people to do more, to turn those little ripples into big waves of change. So that's my origin story. So your origin story, it might be that it the big story hasn't even happened yet. But it might be, there might be a small origin story that you can utilize. But that's just one of the 3. That's why I gave you 3 different different types of stories. So there was origin story, there was an expertise story about why you are the expert at what you do. And then there was the transformation story as well. So what ex and it's great to talk about how you transform things. So like I help people to be seen so they can make more money and a bigger impact. Okay. But stories connected to that would be I've got fun stories that involve Bezzy's Bees campaign, where I put bees on the roof of the Printworks in Manchester and got Bez from the Happy Mondays to front the campaign with his maracas. And I got it in NME magazine, Guardian, newspaper, Radio 6. It's a really funny story, but it's all sustainability led. The money was raising funds for Forever Manchester, the charity. So and it won loads of awards because it was a bit bonkers, which is kind of me. Um, but that's an example story of a transformation type thing that I do for other clients. So when we're thinking about transformation stories or expertise stories, think of examples of things you have done for your clients that add that humor, that ha add that color, that highlight what you do without it being super factual. Does that help? Um, so I just wanted to go through those again, and you only need one of them because last night when we did lead with your story, I wanted you to pick one of those 3 stories or another one from your grid that you came up with, um, and put your opening line, introducing who you are, then your story, and then thinking of a call to action of what do you want people to do when they read your story. Okay. And now Today, we're going to look at the do it by actually taking that action. Okay. And next Tuesday at 8 p.m., I'm going to do a masterclass that will then help you to pull the whole thing together and show you how to apply it to the rest of the year. So you smash 2026. Okay. Hopefully that all makes sense to you and answers some of the questions that I know a few of you had. Um, so just a recap on the prizes, first of all. I've got prizes for the big action takers. So all of you who do all of the actions and you post it in the Facebook thread so we can see that you've worked through it all. And obviously come live on Tuesday as well. All of you will get a power hour with me, either in person or on Zoom to go through whatever you want to go through. Maybe it's your workings from today, maybe it's your stories, maybe it's how you pitch something to somewhere. Whatever it is, we can work through it in a power hour, okay? And one of those people will be drawn out and you'll win a VIP half day with me to again work through things for you and your business. And then there's a prize for community cheerleaders. That's the people who support the people within the Facebook group, who like posts, comment on posts, give people support, and encouragement in there. And whoever does that, whoever Facebook says is the most active in there, um, will get 3 months membership inside my Global Visibility Club, where we love community cheerleaders. And then there's an award for sharing is caring. So whoever shares about the challenge and the masterclass on the social media platforms, tags me in, whoever does the most of that will win a free place at my in-person event in March, which will be in Manchester City Centre. So hopefully that all makes sense. And I've been thrilled to see loads of you sharing about it and tagging me already, which is fab, and all supporting each other too, which is great to see. So today it's about just doing it. Now, if you've ever heard me speak on stage, my legacy story, if you like, I talk about life after child loss and I talk about how it makes you appreciate every day, and realize that actually there's no point putting things off and saying one day and someday, just do it today. So my key message is just effing do it. Which is one of my mum's favorite sayings, JFDI. She'll say at you. Um, and yeah, just do it. Because what's the worst that can happen? The journalist ignores your email, or the Facebook post that you did that gets no traction, or your TikTok flops, no one sees it or looks at it. Well, what the hell? You just go again, don't you? So just do it. And this is the thing, it's about this building this momentum and taking one step at a time. So the more you do something, the more confident you'll get doing it. And so someone that I know was like, "Oh no, I'm really, I want to do more like lives on social media, but I'm really nervous, blah blah blah." And I said to them, "Well, do you know what you need to do? Set up a brand new Facebook group with only you in there and practice going live to yourself. Just practice it." Practice the settings and everything that works. Just practice going live and replay it back, see how you got on, change it up, and do it that way. So if you're scared about the tech, have some practice runs in a group that where only you can see it and no one else can. Just practice. And she was like, "Oh my God, that's genius." Yeah, because the more you do it, the more confident you get. And I've worked with clients that want to eventually be speaking on big stages in front of massive audiences. And they're like, "Oh, but that terrifies the hell out of me." And I went, "Well, you don't do that first, do you? Let's have a look. what small networking groups are in your area, like even like a mum's coffee morning type thing. Go along and speak at that and build up from small things that are less scary to that big thing. Okay, so it'll slowly build that confidence. So this is what I want to encourage you to now look at doing with your stories. Okay. So have a think as well. What type of visibility feels aligned for you? Now, I know that some of you have already carved out what you're going to do with your story. Some of you are going to share it on TikTok. Um, but have a think what type of visibility feels right for you because I'm not a one-trick pony. I don't do cookie cutter techniques with my clients. So I won't say to you, oh, you all need to go away now, set up a TikTok account and all start going live on TikTok every single day, and then go live on Facebook and do that. Because some of you, you'll be like, oh, that sounds brilliant. And other members of you will be like, oh my God, I'd rather stick pins in my own eyes than do that. And you'll come across even if you do it in a way that people will just know that your energy's not there, you're not enjoying it, you're hating every single moment of it. So, what's the point? If your energy isn't there and your enthusiasm isn't there, don't do it. Think about what lights you up. And if you're a writer and that lights you up, then maybe you need to look at having a Substack page and do more blogs and maybe speak to local magazines and newspapers about doing a guest column about your chosen subject. Maybe that's the kind of pitching you need to do. If you're someone who loves audio, like excels at radio interviews, loves chatting to people, but it's a bit, I don't really want to be on camera, and all of that, then maybe look at local radio. Go in and do an interview on the local radio. Most of them will do a community, get to know your community um, session, usually like either mid-morning or mid-afternoon, and go on and do that and start doing more audio stuff or podcasts as well. So have a think what feels right for you. If you're a people person and you prefer to be in rooms with lots of other people, then look at the different networking events that might align with you and who you are and the type of clients you want to meet and go out and do more in-person things. So think about who you are and what you enjoy doing and what lights you up. What do you think when you look at your diary at the start of the week and you go, oh my God, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for Tuesday because of blah, 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 whatever. Just have a think of what it is that makes you excited and do more of that because it will come across. So if you're excited about talking about something, people can pick up on that energy. So think about how you can include more excited, enjoyable things that set your soul on fire in your visibility strategy for 2026. Okay. So if you do want to tap into PR and to get your stories picked up in the media, to look at how to get featured. The media love news stories. So if it's a news announcement, you've won an award, you've launched a new business, you've just landed a massive client, um, there's all sorts of different news stories that can be one way to get in. But another one is to look at the news cycles. So, what themes cycle through every year, and you can predict that they'll come back the next year and the year after and the year after that. Because I'm sure a lot of you, when you did your mapping of different stories, some of you will have had stories that were connected to different times of the year, different seasons. Some of your businesses will connect into some of these themes. Now, this isn't an exhaustive list by any stretch of the imagination, and you've got this list in your workbook for today as well. But it just gives you a flavour of the kind of themes that will be on repeat every single year. So you can start thinking, oh, do you know what? That story I've got of how I met my partner at someone else's wedding, oh, that might fit into some of the wedding themes that happen every year. Or do you know what? I'm I've got a business that I do events or retreats with horses. Well, it's Chinese New Year of the horse. There's a nice connection. So think about what's going to be happening and who your ideal client is. Because if your ideal client is um, mums and women of a certain age, middle-aged women, Mother's Day could be a good link in with something. Um, I work with someone that makes, well, you know who it is, Cheshire Club, that do their own gin now. So there's themes coming through for spring and summer cocktails. Um, there'll be various different themes for garden parties and barbecues and festivals and things that we can link them in with. Um, so have a think about your different stories and what you do for a living, what you sell, what the services are, and how they might link in with some of these things. Because it's a great opportunity, and the media are always looking for a different or new spin or angle on all of these themes that cycle around every single year. Okay. Um, and there might be things that you can kind of link in, or just looking at this might now spark some other ideas. So you can go back to your story mapping and do it again with some of these in mind and think, well, oh, do you know what? I've got that case study of that chap that I worked with, who wanted to get ready for his wedding in the summer. So that's a fab case study for weddings media. The other thing to remember as well is the lead times within media varies depending on what kind of media you want to hit. Okay. So if you're going after your local papers, so your regional press. So that might be like a weekly magazine or a daily, not weekly, a weekly newspaper or a daily newspaper. Then those types of publications, you can probably go to them a couple of weeks in advance of these themes coming out. Okay. But if it's a monthly lifestyle magazine publication like Cheshire Life, Lancashire Life, some of these glosses, or a magazine like Good Housekeeping or Cosmopolitan or Red Magazine, that are all out monthly, the monthly glossy magazines work 3 months in advance. So now I'm getting news requests from that kind of media for stories to do with Easter and spring and new life and all of those things. That's what they're about to close off on Mother's Day. Okay, so that's how far in advance they work. So be mindful of that as well, that if you've got a story that would be great for around Christmas time or Christmas party season, and you want to get it in the monthlies, you need to start pitching into them in the summer to get it in so that they leave space for that story. Okay. So be mindful of that, of your timings for these things if you want to tap into the news cycles. Okay. And consistency beats the intensity. So just like when you're working out, You can't just go to the gym once, lift really heavy weights and expect to have a six pack. It doesn't work like that. You need to keep a consistent flow going. And the same goes for visibility and PR. You need to be out there. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on the same media or the same social media. You just need to have a constant presence. So if someone looks you up, they can find you easily because you've been recently posting and all of this, and you've got that brand presence. So I meet and chat to some people. I had a potential client last year who came to me and said, Sarah, I don't know if I need any more PR because 6 months ago I was everywhere. I was in all the nationals 6 months ago. And I went, right, okay. What have you done since that coverage? Oh, well, nothing. And it's not really worked for me. And I said, well, the reason it's not worked for you is you need to keep it consistent. Need to keep that momentum going. So it's great having a boost, but you can't then just drop everything and leave it and not talk or post or do anything for 6 months and expect that one bit of press coverage to cover you, to like carry you through. It doesn't work like that. You have to consistently be dripping it on. Now, that's not to say the one bit of news coverage you get can't continue, can't say it now, can, can't even say the word, continually deliver like a year, 2 years after that coverage has hit. Because I remember, I don't know who else's mum used to say this, but back in the day, like when I was a kid, I remember my mum saying, "Oh, today's news will be next week's fish and chip paper. No one will remember it. It'll be, cast out." Um, but those days are gone because everything's digital now. So once you're in the paper, the paper's digital platform, you're there. People can find you. Okay. So there's an example of someone that I got her permission to share this on the call with you all. Lisa, who's on the call, who I've done PR for before. I got Lisa a really nice article in the Manchester Evening News. Was it 2 years ago now, Lisa? I can't remember. I think it was 2 years ago.
Uh,
Um,
it was about 18 months ago.
yeah, about 18 months ago. It was in the Manchester News Online. It was really lovely about Lisa's story and everything. And Lisa had won an award for the Cheshire Club, so that was featured in the article. But then it's a gift that keeps on giving. Someone had seen her article online, a local radio station contacted her to say, "We'd love to have you on for an interview." And she got approached by the radio station and invited on from a news article about her that was posted 18 months earlier. And potentially there might be more to come from it as well, might there, Lisa? I
Yeah,
believe.
they've contacted me and asked if I wanted to do a regular session. It's like a phone-in thing, so I've said I'd be interested, but we've got to have that discussion, yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. So that's an example of how one piece of coverage can really do the work for you. But in an ideal world, you'd get so much more by doing that consistency piece as well. Okay. But you never know who's going to stumble on your coverage or your news or your story if it's online. And so many journalists as well now trawl certain hashtags on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook to try and find the story that they can then run with. So the number of people who contacted me because they've seen me share something about one of my clients or about myself and messaged me to go, "Oh, Sarah, would you be up for doing an interview about that on in the paper?" or whatever? Or do you think they would speak to us about XYZ, about doing an expert piece or whatever? So don't discount social media either, because that again is a really good platform to keep that consistency out there. Okay. So the power of one bold move. So which of these, have a look at these things, which of these feels a bit uncomfortable for you if you were to do it, but also a little bit exciting. Okay. So what I want you to do is have a look at these and see what, because some of these might feel really comfortable for you, but some of them you might think, it's a bit uncomfortable, but actually it'd be exciting if I did that. Um, because what I want you to do today from today is to do that one bold move between now and Tuesday's session. I want you to decide what that one bold move is going to be. Whether that is pitching your story into media, whether that's pitching as yourself as a guest talking about your story on a podcast, whether that's um, contacting an event and asking if you could be their guest speaker or take part on a panel. Again, ideally using the story that you've come up with, whether that's going live on social media, talking about that story, whether it's doing a post on social media, that might feel a bit uncomfortable for you, being that open. But have a think of what that might be for you. Okay. So that's what I want you to do is I want you to tell us in the Facebook thread what this first bold action is you're going to do. And then I want you to do it before Tuesday's masterclass and feedback how it's gone. Because it might be that you pitch something into media and they might reply and go, brilliant, we're going to feature you, or come in and have an interview. Or if you're Lisa, it might be just following up that radio station and having a chat about being their regular guest. Um, but let put put it out there what that bold action is going to be on the Facebook thread, and then go do it. And then feedback to us how it's gone. Or if it's a live or something on social media, you might want to share the link. And then we can all jump on and give you some love and support and all of that. Okay? How does that feel?
Great. Thank you, Sarah.
Good.
Sarah, can I just check? Is it the origin story we're talking about
Yeah,
sharing, or one of the three?
one of your
Right.
stories that you've come up
Okay.
with. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
whichever one would you think would work. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
And remember our member prizes as well. So our action takers, community cheerleaders, and sharing is caring as well. Um, and there's still the VIP as well. So if you want to jump in there and get extra support if you're not already in there, then feel free to do that as well. I know some comments here, so let me just see if there's any questions. Lisa, I've just had a paradigm shift. Origin isn't about my origin, it's about what the origin is of my story, why I do what I do now. Yes, it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
Lisa.
So that's
That's your why.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's fine. I think sometimes you hear things and they don't land in the
yeah,
first instance, but the more you keep
yeah.
hearing,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's the origin story as in the same as like superheroes, not
yeah,
origin as in where you were born and
yeah,
grew up and
yeah.
stuff. Um, although that might influence why you do what you do. Ariel, is it okay to use old stories? Yeah, I pull out all sorts of old stories, Ariel. But the one about Bezzy's bees is really old. That was like pre-COVID. Um, that but I just love it. It was just a fun campaign. So I quite often talk
Mm.
about things that were ages ago. You know, you've
That's
still
great.
done
Because
them.
I was going to say, I've got some good ones pre-COVID that really sprung to mind, and I just didn't know whether it was a bit
Yeah.
cheeky using them
No,
because if
no.
they saw it, they'd be like, "God, but you've not worked with us for like 6 years or something."
Well, the
So
thing is, you also don't necessarily
you
need
don't
to
need to
name
name them.
name.
No,
No, you don't have to
no,
name names. You can
yeah.
just, you
Talk about the
know,
type of business it
yeah,
was, the sector,
yeah,
rather than
yeah, talk
the
about the
name.
sector and what you
Yeah,
did and who said
yeah,
what,
great.
but without naming names. So you can
Yeah,
do that as well.
perfect. Yeah, no, that's
Because yeah,
great.
I'm sure some of my airlines are like, bloody hell, she never stop harping
You're
on about
talking about that.
how
Yeah,
she did our PR for 7 years,
yeah,
like bloody 10 years ago. But it's not that long ago,
yeah.
actually, to be fair. It's not 10 years ago. But yeah. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really encouraging.
Yeah, I
Thank you. I
still
feel like
harp,
a
but you still
broken
did it.
record. I keep
No, but
pulling
you
some of the
still,
same
but you,
highlights out
no,
because they were good.
yeah, but you still did
Yeah,
it. And the
yeah,
thing
yeah,
is,
yeah,
you might feel that you're going over it again and again and again,
yeah, yeah,
but most people won't see it multiple times because of the algorithms and and visibility. So sometimes, like for this challenge, I was thinking, look, oh, I've got to do another post on socials about the challenge. People would be sick to death of hearing about it. But then I'd get some people go, "Oh, what challenge are you running?
yeah.
I've not heard about it." And I'd be thinking, "Oh my God, I thought it was blinking everywhere. I thought you'd all be sick to the back teeth of it." And a load of people didn't even know it was running. Actual
Right, yeah,
ex-clients of mine didn't know it was running because they've not read their emails, obviously. And so you don't overthink it because I think sometimes because we're living and breathing it the same way that some people think, oh, that's a bit boring, that's really dull. Again, the reason they're thinking that is because it's your life and you're living it every
yeah,
single day. So to you, it is a bit vanilla and a bit
yeah,
boring. And, you feel like you're repeating yourself again and again and again and again on socials. But you're actually probably, yes, you are, but other people aren't seeing it. Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah.
It's
And
the
we can
first time
quote.
most people have heard it, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
And also some people who have already read it because the world is so much noisier now than it used to
Mm.
be. Like I remember like 20 years ago when I was pitching to new clients and things, I could share the fact that people had to see your brand and what you do 7 times before they then made a decision to buy from you or to book your service or whatever. Okay. That was 20 years ago. Today, it's a ridiculous number. I think it's 37 times they need to see your business, your brand, and what you do before they make that buying decision.
Mm.
Because the world's got a lot noisier and our brains are really good at ignoring information.
Mm.
So someone will read your post and then as they scroll past it, they'll see someone else's post, and they'll forget what they've seen. And then the next day they'll do it again. And so they might, because you're repeatedly posting, they might see a similar post from you 5 times before they actually remember that they've seen it. So don't be afraid to repeat stuff
Yeah,
because those stats now are quite scary. And that's why people have to advertise more on socials and TV and adverts and blah 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 because people aren't noticing them the same way that they used to. But that's also why if you can be more personal with people and share that emotional
yeah,
story that connects them with you, then you'll get to that buying decision faster because they'll build know, like, and trust. Whereas if you sound the same as everyone else out there, it's not going to cut through. Does that make sense? And that's why in-person events now are having a new renaissance, if you like, because again, it's that person connection that people have been missing. And people realised during COVID they completely missed it, and then it's taken a while to actually get into flow again. But it's that person connection that people need, and that's why actually being authentically you and sharing the kind of stories that only you can come out with because it's only happened to you will resonate with people more than just generic stuff. Sophie says, feels on the edge, pushing it over the edge of comfort zone. Yeah, exactly, Sophie. Yeah, it's just wide pushing that comfort zone a bit further out. So we're just naturally just pushing it and practicing at pushing it out. And because you'll just get more confident then. You need to stretch yourselves just a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. So has anyone got any questions or anything for me? I'll go back to the what you need to do in case anyone wants to write that down. But also, I'm going to take a bit of a picture if that's okay, because I always forget to take a picture. I don't know if everyone's jumping off. Please put your cameras on. I'll try and expand my screen. Do you want to put your Becky, is your
I'm
camera
so
not working?
sorry. I think I need a new laptop because
Oh
it's
God.
just being proper dodge.
Oh dear.
I am here though. I'm not sat here
Right,
in my pajamas or
Marketta,
anything.
May, are you there? Can you put your cameras on or not? Maybe they can't. Oh, someone's put a comment in. I am on fire, May says. Well, put your camera on. Let's see you burning.
Not
Not
literally, yeah.
really. Yeah, not literally. I was like, yeah, I hope you're not literally on fire, and that's why you can't put your camera on. Yeah, so let me put the day 4 in focus. There we go. Let's do that. Right. Oh, hold on. My keyboard had gone to sleep. Right, everyone smile. There we go. Right, that's nice. I've got a team shot. So yeah, so I can't wait to hear all your actions. If you've got any questions at all, if you're in the VIP group, you can pop your questions in the WhatsApp and we'll all do our best to answer them and help you. If you're not in the VIP and you want to go into the VIP, it's only £27. The code's there. So feel free to do that and jump in. Or put questions in the Facebook group as well, because we're all here to help. And yeah, I'm excited to see what you decide to do. Ah, can't wait. Yeah, have a great weekend, and I will see you all on Tuesday evening. And yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you,
Good night,
Sarah.
everyone.
Night.
See you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Sarah. Bye.
Bye.